Namaste, namaste Anand.
Sir, is this a confident budget or an arrogant budget? Let me start with that.
I think that's where Amitabh left. Anyway, having said that, I think it's confidence with resolve, determination and consistency. In a way, it's a continuity of the course that Prime Minister Modi charted out for himself soon after he took over as the Prime Minister on the 26th of May 2014. And he said in one of his earliest statements that those sections of society which did not receive the kind of attention that they deserved would be given due attention and brought at par with the rest of the society. And that's what has happened today. If you go deeply into the different aspects, like for example, it's amazing, Pradhan Mantri Swanidhi Yojana, the street vendors receiving attention, nearly 70 lakh Labharthis. Now, it's part of never of the society had turned so indifferent to this section of society. You hardly gave a second look to a street vendor on the roadside. वो पुलिस वाला आता था धक्का मार के उसको चला जाता था. Today they are gaining financial support with respect. And that has received mention in today's budget as well. And though it's an interim budget, it's also a reflection of the kind of direction that the overall budget is going to follow, which happens in the monsoon session in an election year. That again is a reflection of the confidence that is going to be the same Prime Minister, same government. It's not because of arrogance, but that is because the people's trust, and that is what they want to happen. Now, I would rather say this is a budget which is very inclusive, which is very innovative. Innovative in both ways, in its thinking, in its approach, in its innovative ideas, and at the same time also innovative in promoting innovation science.
Correct.
Like
the 1 lakh crore fund that has been set.
1 lakh crore corpus.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And when I say that it is addressing every section of society, regardless of caste, creed, region, or even their vote preference, I think I would rather say that it addresses demography, democratically, and also taking into consideration all the diversities. And before I say anything more, I think what is not seldom said is that this budget, like the earlier one or two budgets, has sought to explore those resources which could have been explored even 70 years earlier, soon after independence, but none of the governments paid enough attention, and which are going to add value to the Viksit Bharat Yatra from now onwards. Like for example, the agriculture sector. This budget has spoken about an exclusive policy for biomanufacturing. We have a huge bioresource in this country, I think richer than any other country. We have 5-6 states lying in the lap of Himalayas. The Purple Revolution is born
marine and
in the
coast
Modi
also.
regime. It was depicted in the marine coast. We have 7,500 long kilometer coastal area, around 12 states along it. Nobody looked at for the first time. This budget mentions deep sea mission as well.
Yes.
And the Prime Minister spoke about deep sea mission twice in his Independence Day address of 2023 and 2022. So for the first time we are going to explore the huge wealth which are not only that 7,500 long coastal area. Anand, did you ever realize we are the only country which has an ocean named after the country?
Yes.
So I was telling some of the team from Australia the other day, I said, you live in a place which is a country, which is an island, which is a continent, but your ocean is not named as Australian Ocean. My ocean is named as Indian Ocean because my forefathers could see the huge amount of wealth lying inside. For the first time we have started scientifically exploring that through this deep sea
how much
mission,
time before that actually comes into fruition? Because the opposition is saying that in the last 10 years of UPA versus 10 years of NDA, Dr. Jitendra Singh, women have been pushed out of the workforce, demographic dividend has actually not been tapped into, and there are a lot of criticisms coming in the way that unemployment is actually disguised right now. The numbers are not, the government is not forthcoming with the actual numbers. How would you respond to this? The UPA believes they had the economy in a far better shape and Bharat on a far better track than last 10 years under PM Narendra Modi.
I think this is if you go, today we live in an evidence-based era. If we go by statistical figures, leave alone the figures emanating from India, the global indices. We were just about 350 startups in 2014. Today we are nearly 1.5 lakh. We are ranked number 3 in the world ecosystem. This is not my strategy, it's not a BJP strategy, it's not Prime Minister Modi's strategy. Global Innovation Index, we stood at 81. We have jumped 41 rank higher. We are today 40. This is again a global parameter. So we were 10th economy. We were known as 5 fragile economies. Today we are known as 5 top. And we look forward, and this has happened because the approach has been very innovative. Now, take the example of space, for example, that also received mention.
Yeah, space and deep tech and defense was
the earlier governments had confined. Yes, absolutely. We were confined in self-constrained shackles. We didn't move out. We had just one startup about 4 years back. After Prime Minister Modi liberated space, what the media fondly described as unlocking of the space, today we have 190 space startups from the private sector. We have an investment of at least 1 lakh crore just in about 8 months, beginning from 1st of April to 31st of December, from the private sector in the space. And so that has given us a huge boost. We are 8 billion economy in space. Now I'll tell you how we go by evidence. We are 8 billion economy today as far as space is concerned. Our estimate was that we would be 40 billion by 2040. But the ALD report, there's a very respectable assessment report of America, which is Arthur D. Little report, ADL. It mentions that though Indians are projecting themselves to be 40 billion, but our assessment is that they could even go up to 100 million, the manner in which they have started, progressing by leaps and bounds. So there have been a quantum fast track growth in the last few years because the approach has been innovative. We have liberated ourselves of the taboos of the past thanks to Prime Minister Modi's indulgence. And that is what has enabled us to move on in such a rapid pace.
My final question, Dr. Jitendra Singh, this election, somewhere the budget says you bring us back to power and we'll give you more, especially with the taxation aspects not being touched. Somewhere the message to the voter is bring us back and we'll give you more. Is that true?
No, the other way, to put it in another way, is that since we were constrained only to come out with an interim budget, so we are discharging that part of responsibility. The rest of the responsibility will happen when we come back.
But one thing that you think has been missed out, Mahila, this aspect of Mahila, the woman voter and the women of the country, is there a serious push in that direction? Do you see that reflecting even in the elections budget or the vote on account budget?
No, I think, no. On the other hand, I think both letter and spirit. Prime Minister has been reiterating time and again for the last few months that I know of only 4 sections of society, 4 castes: the Kisan or the Annadata, the Mahila, Yuva, and a Gharib. And it has started showing dividends. 25 crore people coming out of poverty. And not only I would say coming out of poverty, I would not even see it from economical angle alone. It has given rise to a new kind of aspiration. When you have 3 crore houses, kacha houses converted into pakka houses, and when I go to my constituency, people come to me and say, "Hamara wala reh gaya hai," तो हम उनको बताते नहीं बनने वाला है. So it's given rise to an aspiration because we lived in a society which was indifferent to the thought of kacha or pakka. Even my ancestors lived in a kacha house. My grandmother and the forefathers used to even wash the kacha floor. We were reconciled. There's a section of society which is destined to live like that. So it's given rise to an aspiration. So, and as they say, the definition of democracy is that wherever a child is born, the house is big or small, the household is big or small, the mother should have the confidence to dream that her child can grow up to rise to the highest level. So that kind of confidence now the Indian mother has gained. So that is a true essence of democracy is being realized now after 7 decades. So this entire financial transformation or economic transformation is also had an impact socially, mentally, psychologically, and also in the way, in the manner in which we look at each other democratically.
Dr. Jitendra Singh, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.